Hi everybody, this is Katie. Welcome to episode 3 of The Life of Luxury. Today we're going to be working on the boardwalk area that runs all along the front part of my island. The first step, of course, is putting down this little rope fence, and to be honest, this took a lot longer. I go all the way down every single space on the top of the boardwalk for the entirety, so I skipped to the end just a little bit there so that it wouldn't take as long for this one step, because it just repeats itself over and over again. And on the end here, as I finish up the fence, I'm starting to make some decisions about where the boardwalk is going to intersect with the road. I want these little entrances here and there, and I knew that that was going to be an important part of how the flow of the island works. So I'm thinking as I go, as I put all these fences down, where am I going to open the fence? So I start putting down the black street lamps, and this is an important part of the boardwalk too, because the black street lamps really help sell the illusion of the boardwalk and the street look. Both the road and the boardwalk look more like a road and a boardwalk with the street lamps down. So I decided I'd go ahead and put all of them down the same time that I was figuring out the intersections. And I really wanted to continue the straight grid concept like I've already started on the island. So where the lamps are gonna go, I want to have this really good, beautiful, straight all the way down the island kind of a look. So I'm trying to decide where they're gonna fit. And you can see here, if I wanted one tucked in, I'm adding a little bit more sidewalk and just kind of tucking it in place. And I realized that I have some of them right next to the road and some of them back, and again, I want them to line up. I want them to be straight, so I'm just kind of fixing that a little bit as I go. And this also helps because it is helping me determine where I'm going to do those openings. I thought I had a good idea where they were going to be, and I moved them as I go, and I think I moved almost all of them because I didn't want them to, line up incorrectly with the stuff behind them. So you can see I thought I knew where one was going to be. I moved it so it would line up with resident services. Here I kind of picked where one was going to be, but then I realized the street lamp was going to be right in front of the house, and so I move it down another space. That way everything, again, stays lined up. Before starting the boardwalk area, I went through my catalog and pulled out all of the items that I felt fit the theme or the illusion of a boardwalk area, and I knew I was going to include a little bit of a playground, kind of a fair area, the type of things that you would see on a really beautiful summer day if you were going to go walk near the ocean. So there was a lot of stuff that I had in mind. The first step, though, of course, is to finish these funny intersections, because I can't start putting things down on the boardwalk until I feel really confident in where the openings are going to be. One of the things that I loved about the boardwalk is that I used a pattern that went over the top of an in-game path. And what that means is that my villagers used it. They use it a ton, and they use the things that are down here on the boardwalk, which I love. And they're walking down and really, make it look like it's fun and full. That's actually one of the best arguments for using the in-game paths, is that the villagers do know how to use them. And it was perfect for my boardwalk because I really wanted this to be a bustling public type of space. So it was fun to see the villagers down here interacting with the objects and walking through the area. As you can see, I'm starting to put some of those items down that I had picked out for the build. I've got the public benches, the cypress trees, the trash cans, and a few other miscellaneous items. I really wanted to stick with the black and white color scheme that I'd already started, so I've picked out the cypress trees with the black base to them, for example, and I'm trying to choose items that look a little bit nicer, a little bit fancier, and coordinate with the style of the island. The next step here is for me to determine where the trees are going to go and where it's going to intersect with the bottom part of the beach. So I'm doing a little bit of the same thing I did before, except for in a different direction. I'm putting a little bit of sand down on spots where I'm going to put a palm tree so that the palm tree will actually go up here on the grass. And I'm trying to put that so that it aligns visually, I'm imagining where the palm tree is going to not block a house too much behind it and kind of add to the aesthetic. Without having the palm tree there, you have to use your imagination just a little bit. And then I've created another pattern that has a little bit of a step off down to the boardwalk below. And so I'm creating openings in the fence where it goes down. And I did want some of those openings to line up so it would be easy for me to get down to the beach, but not all of them have to line up exactly. So just putting those patterns in place. And these are the telescope, the tourist telescope. I just felt like that was a really good way of creating this illusion that we are looking out at the ocean. So I have a few of those that I put here and there. I imagine those are the really cool ones where you put a quarter in them and it would allow you to look when you were just near the water or near someplace that was fun to look out. And then this little spot here on my beach sticks out further than everything else. And so I decided to create a little bit of a different patterned area, and I'm putting down all of the little fair items. So I have the really cool teacup ride here, and I really like the way that the black and white one fits into my island. And I've got a couple of the little springy rides, that cotton candy booth. Not a ton. I didn't want to do too much, just a little bit so that you could see that area. I wanted to be able to put some music down here, so I was adding a little bit of music in a couple places. Toilet, phone booth, drinking fountain, the kinds of things that I imagined that you would see down on a boardwalk. And it was fun to just scatter these things here and there throughout the area. Again, you can see I'm trying to decide where to put a palm tree so that it really looks good in the area. And I wanted to include a lot of palm trees since the area was supposed to be a beautiful tropical beach. So not just on the beach, but up near the boardwalk. I'm trying to tie the areas together so that the boardwalk is all one big cohesive place up here on the grass and down onto the beach. So you can see I'm changing my mind a little bit here and there where things are based on how it covers up things behind. And I really wanted some things covered up, but I want this illusion. You can see I've got this really cool path that goes straight down to the other bridge. So I didn't want to cover it up too much. I wanted to be able to see back in to the really cool areas of the island. I had most of the palm trees in my pocket. I just ate a piece of fruit and was able to pick up and put them down in place. And this is something that I like to do at this stage of building because it gives me that really fun instant gratification of the tree just popping up and being right in place. But of course you could use coconut and just drop the coconut down in there to plant the tree instead. So this is just a preference because I think it's fun and not for any other reason than that. So of course I'm going to put palm trees down here on the beach too, so I'm just tucking them into some of those little corners and areas kind of at the intersection of things, and I'm kind of continuing the design down onto the beach, which means more fence. I know this has been a fence building episode, but that is a huge part of the illusion here for the boardwalk. So you can see I've taken that same path and I've extended it down onto the beach, and now I'm putting the rest of the fence in place. And I wanted it to tie in together to look like it was all part of the same area. I hope it achieved that. Now that I'm down here on the beach, it's time to start putting in decorations that fit a different style, a different look. I really loved the way that the festival umbrella fit the look down here, even though it had color to it. And I'm just putting some of the more beach-themed items down here on the beach. Towels and blankets, the stand, balls, different things like that. And then up on the actual pattern, I'm putting things where you would sit and enjoy the water. All the way down here on the very end, the beach space is different. This is my little beach campsite. I would prefer for the campsite to not be on the island at all, but since it is going to be on the island, I thought I would go ahead and give it a little bit of a space that looked as if you were going to come down and enjoy the day on the beach in a campsite mode. So I've got a little bit of a guitar there. We have the marshmallow fire down on the beach and some stools, lamps, different camp stove, things that you would use if you were going to come down to the beach. And I feel like it came together really well in the end. All right, it's time for flowers. So here I have a little bit of the rock pattern, and I'm mixing flowers in with the rock pattern to really help bring the area to life. I love the way that the flowers help it look more tropical, and I like the way that this little rock pattern helps tie some of the area together too. It makes the campsite look like it's a little bit more part of like it's supposed to be there. And sometimes things look like they're just dropped for no reason, and a pattern can really help. All right, you guys, everything is finished. Let's go take a look at the final tour of the boardwalk. So down here on the end, you can see all of the fun little beach things in place with those flowers just scattered about. Marshall singing on the boardwalk. It's perfect. And then down to the other area, you'll see I use those garden lanterns to just distinguish the opening. And then down a little bit further, I really love the way that the items in the boardwalk are consistent. Look at Portia sitting on the bench. I told you they really use the boardwalk a ton, and I love that. So down here again on the beach, a very consistent look. I tried to use the same styles and the same type of items all the way throughout the entire build. I feel like this would be a beautiful place to come and spend a wonderful summer day. Doesn't this look like it would be such a cool place to come with the family? I put a magazine there on the table, little coconut drinks, and then down here on the end, the space is just a little bit different because we have our campsite area. And in the end, I liked it. I liked the way it came out. A little bit simple, a little bit rustic, but still kind of flows and fits into the general area on the island. And up here right behind it, I went ahead and put the black and white lighthouse. And I really love the way that that looked in the distance behind the campsite. I hope you guys found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.